Welcome and welcome back, Fiber Friends, to another episode of the Wool to Gold podcast. So this is technically future Brian, okay? It's me speaking in the future, filming an intro because I realized as I was editing and putting this video together that I actually never did film an intro. I thought I did. Maybe I did and I accidentally deleted it. The world may never know. But this is my little introduction to my moving video. So you're gonna see a little of me moving. I talk about thrifting. You guys get to see me cook a little bit of dinner one of the nights. Obviously, I am still getting settled. However, I did just finish up filming a natural dyeing video today. So rest assured, we will be returning to our usual fiber content very, very soon. Anyway, thanks in advance for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I'm sure you can tell, I do look an absolute mess right now. I did just wake up. I've got my coffee. I have got to shower and change. Am I gonna shave before we leave? Only time will tell. We'll see. All right, so a little check-in before we officially hit the road. Of course, I had to grab a Taylor ham, egg and cheese before I left, and a half dozen bagels to bring with me, because obviously my Jersey ass is going to be missing bagels, okay? Bagels need to be boiled. If they're not boiled, it's just bread, and it's not the same as a bagel. But I got a snack, we're ready to roll, so I'm gonna hit the road, and maybe I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. My mom is sort of caravanning it with us in a second car, but we're not trying to stay right up next to each other while we drive, because that's not safe. So we're just gonna meet up about halfway through, and then once we arrive in Rehoboth Beach. All right, Fiber Friends, and this is just a little montage of a few clips of some things that me and my mom were exploring. This is a really cute little greenhouse that we found in a restaurant. This is just a little shot of my apartment completely empty. You guys will see it a little bit more filled later on. And then it is a one bedroom. So here is the one bedroom. Not much to see yet. Just some clips of me walking around town. It's super pretty. The weather has been really beautiful despite it claiming that it was going to rain all week. I did notice this plant. I used to have one of these, but I've never seen them bloom before, and so I just had to stop and take some photos. And then I do have a few clips of our nighttime excursions, getting dinner and walking around, just some of the cute scenery we saw. And then obviously I had to get some ice cream. I got the chocolate and mint soft serve combo because I've never seen mint ice cream in a soft serve format. It was so good. All right, Fiber Friends, so we are at the first thrift store. It is God's Way Retail and Thrift Outlet, and I'm excited to check it out, right? I've checked out, I mentioned, I think in the last episode, that Habitat for Humanity restores are some of my favorite, especially for really big furniture pieces. If you don't know how it works, when you go in, if whichever date has passed is what the price is, that dictates the price. So if the piece has been there for a long time, then it could be marked down to a quarter, a 16th of its original price. And so that's the fun part about that store. But I'm excited to check out some of the local thrift places. They look a little bit smaller than I'm used to, but I don't know, you can do a lot with a small space. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, forgive me because I have the AC on, so I'm sure the audio on this one is not the best, but I'm just gonna say, the prices were not it. There were 2 or 3 items that caught my eye. There was this antique smoker stand, okay, and it was $50. I feel honestly, that kind of piece, I get why it was so expensive, okay, fair, but, okay, I went to go pick up a big basket, right? A big basket that at a TJ Maxx or a HomeSense or a Marshalls or that kind of store, right, would probably cost me $30. That's exactly what they were charging here for said big basket. I'm sorry, if I'm gonna get the basket used, which I do prefer, I prefer secondhand baskets because they are just everywhere and they're very easy to find secondhand. I'm not gonna pay what I would have paid if I bought it new. I'm just not. Call me insane, but this is I thrift because I am thrifty. I'm frugal. I like to save money, okay, and spend it on other things besides necessities and organizational stuff. just because I feel like enough of that stuff already exists, right? Just like how a lot of people feel like enough clothing already exists that they're like, I don't need to buy the brand new clothing. I feel that way about clothes, and I feel that way about a lot of like the furniture and secondhand items that I get, right? They're things that I really don't feel like need to be new for me personally, right? Just a personal preference. But yeah, that was kind of a bust. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna go to the All Saints Parish thrift store about 10 minutes down this little strip of highway, and I'll check it in a little bit. It's almost 3 o'clock. We are at the next thrift store. It looks bigger. It looks a lot bigger. Again, not that size matters, okay? It's the quality of the stock that is important. If it's just a bunch of crap, it's not useful to me. But I did notice across the way there's an Emmert auction gallery. It's also just good to know, like, if I eventually choose to upgrade some of the furniture that I already got or something like that, that there are a few places nearby that I can re-donate the furniture, because if you're gonna take from the thrift ecosystem, I do truly believe you should contribute back to it. Especially if you're like myself and you have gotten very lucky in your thrift lifetime and found like really nice pieces, I will donate some of those pieces back into the like thrift, life cycle, or I'll try to like directly give them to somebody else so that like other people can also benefit. You don't just want to like throw the good stuff away. If you're gonna pick good stuff from the thrift, sometimes it's good to give back some good stuff as well. Okay, so that thrift store was very much a win. There was a good selection. I'm totally gonna end up popping back there for furniture and also for like decorative stuff. They had a lot of decorative stuff, very good prices. They did have some baskets that I was interested in. I didn't come home with baskets, but I found this really cool table that is also a lamp. Like, it's all wood and the table and lamp are connected. I don't know if the electrical works. I don't really care. It's a really cool decorative piece, and I kind of just need a side table to put my, stuff on next to my big orange chair, just to like place my phone or like my coffee mug or like stuff like that. I realized this morning while I was like trying to get some things done. And so I would like just like a little side table, and I did buy a different shade for it because I hate the lampshade that's on it. I think it's ugly. And yeah, I don't know if the electric works. Like if I put a light bulb in there and it actually turns on, that would just be like a really cool thing. That would just be a highlight. But I think it's cute just the way it is as like a decorative piece, as stupid as that sounds. So I don't know. I'm bringing that home. It was only $15. And the other lampshade was only $2. So I don't know. I need some stuff to make the room look a little bit less empty. Not too much stuff, not too quickly, but some stuff. Anyway, next stop is the library. If we have time on the way back, I'll hit one last thrift store that looks pretty good and is it's like closer to my apartment. Like, I came farther, way farther out, closer into like Rehoboth Center to come and check out the stuff out here. But I want to check out the library. I really want to check out the library, and it closes at 5. And then we do have to I forgot that I want to make chicken soup. I bought bone-in chicken, and because it was really cheap. It was a very, very good price when I was grocery shopping for the new apartment. And I obviously have to cook them soon because they're fresh. So I need to get celery and some carrots and whatever else I want to throw in this soup. I do need like seasonings for like classic chicken soup, and then I'll just have it for the week to eat because I love soup. I know it's not soup weather. I know people would be like, it's 90 degrees. Why the fuck do you want soup? It's easy. I like to eat. It's easy, and it has like all the nutrients and like all the food groups right there. I don't know. Okay, so we skipped the other thrift store. I don't know. It's hot out. I did have a single can of spiked Arnold Palmer last night, and low-key, I'm hungover today because I don't drink very often. That's what I get for trying to like switch it up and celebrate. I'm just not feeling super hot. It's like the hottest portion of the day too, at like 5 o'clock. And so I thought, why not come inside with the AC and make some crock pot chicken soup. So something a lot of you guys probably don't know about me is that I'm a pretty decent cook. I'm a pretty decent cook when left to my own devices. Okay, I do make like what I feel are hearty, well-rounded, home-cooked meals. One of my old managers gave me this like massive crock pot. I'm gonna put the chicken down. It's like show you guys how big it is. Look at how big. Look at how big. I don't know about you guys, but this is like bigger than the standard crock pot in my opinion. It's massive. It's super fancy. It's gonna fit a bunch of this bone-in chicken wings that were on sale at the store. So my plan is to try to fit as many of these as I can in here, along with the other ingredients, obviously. And then I'm just gonna freeze, I think, the rest of them for maybe like a curry next week or something like that. I love a crock pot meal, okay? But I wanted to share with you guys like the basic recipe. So first, bone-in chicken wings, okay? We want all of that flavor. I don't really get boneless meat personally. I just think it's not as like delicious, but that's just a personal preference. All right, if you want the boneless, you get the boneless. We're gonna put an onion, obviously. I'm probably gonna do one whole thing of garlic, diced carrots and celery, obviously, basic like base stock. Cream of mushroom soup. I want a little bit of cream in it. I want it to be like hearty and warm and homey. And you might be asking yourself, why not cream of chicken soup? But when you say that out loud, I feel like you can hear why you shouldn't, or why the cream of chicken soup doesn't really add anything to the dish besides the cream, right? Because we're using whole chicken with the bone, and that makes like the best stock anyway. And so why not get the umami flavor from cream of mushroom? Plus we're on a budget, so I just like didn't want to buy mushrooms, but I did want that like depth of flavor. We do have some chicken broth, like stock, some basic stock from the store, just to get us started, okay? This is the base to help like doctor us up to a very good stock. And then of course, the seasonings, one of the most important parts. I eyeball everything, okay? My dad cooks, so I just grew up eyeballing it. I don't know what else to tell you, but we are going to include celery salt, ground sage, parsley, rosemary. Don't go too crazy on the rosemary because this can be really overpowering and kind of steal the show in a way that you don't intend if you add too much. A little bit of thyme. Thyme is definitely one of my favorites. And then bay leaves. Okay, I couldn't tell you right off the bat what a bay leaf tastes like in a soup. But what I can tell you is that I can tell when it's missing. The soup just doesn't taste right, in my opinion. This is my basic soup recipe. I'm probably going to finish it off with some frozen veggies, like some green beans, I think is what I'm gonna add, frozen green beans, but at the very end, so that because like the frozen green beans are par cooked, right? They've been partially cooked and then frozen, or partially steamed, I think is how they do it, and then frozen. What I want to do is minimize the risk of like overcooking them and them getting super mushy, you know? These are all going in raw, so obviously they can handle being cooked in the slow cooker for a number of hours. But I just personally like to add the frozen veggies a little bit later so they stay a little bit like crisper. Anyway, I'm going to get to peeling and chopping some veggies and starting up this soup. Hello, Viber friends. It has been a few days. I look rough. I have not shaven. My mom just left. She did help me drive down all my stuff and move in, which was super helpful. We have just been spending the past few days like unpacking the necessities, the coffee machine, obviously, lights and things like that, basic kitchen utensils. Obviously we had to go grocery shopping. It was really nice to have an extra pair of hands so we could get it done like super duper quickly, and an extra pair of hands unpacking it, because I am not on the first floor. I'm standing in front of my balcony right now, which I'm not gonna show you again for like privacy reasons. But yeah, it's really awesome. I can show you the inside. Everything's looking really bare. So I have a little bit of furniture. Shout out to Habitat for Humanity. If you've never been to a Habitat for Humanity restore, they always have just a really cool selection of furniture. And as someone who likes an eclectic mix of things, and has kind of a, I don't know, I do have a rough idea of kind of how I want to decorate. There's going to be a lot of natural wood. There's going to be a lot of natural wood. I'm going to tell you that. It's been heavy carrying everything upstairs. But directly behind me is the studio. There's even more over here. There's so much. It's either start setting up the studio or start unpacking my closet. I might try to do a little bit of both today. I don't know. I'm gonna check in with you guys in a little bit when I at least maybe have some semblance of how I want to set up the studio. I don't know. Maybe I should I'm gonna watch some home decorating videos, and I'm gonna get back to y'all in a little bit. All right, fiber friends, it is the next morning. I did a lot of unpacking. I did a lot of setting up, okay? So my whole closet, despite me really not wanting to unpack my closet, I did unpack my closet today. So I got that done. And then last night, I did a lot of the studio. So you can see I have this little shelving thing here. Behind that is where I'm kind of like hiding my yarn boxes and some of my fiber until I have like a proper place. I did get some hooks up just to hang up some of these guys. So I have like some kind of background or something like that. I have this print that I got in Savannah of a super wrinkly merino, and I just really like it. So I hung that up. And then over here on the other side, I found this super cute ottoman. Definitely gonna use the hell out of that. I also added some like decorative books and things like that. And then over here, I did buy this like super cheap lamp, this guy right here, from like a big box store, just so that I could have a lamp in here because there aren't lights up top, which is becoming more and more regular in apartments from what I hear. And then we have this little hanging net, you guys remember that. And then I have this little shelving unit over here with all of my like dyeing and fiber art supplies organized. As you can see, I added the little sheep ears to it, so it's like a sheep cart. It's a sheep cart, I don't know, in my opinion. And then I can bring you guys over here and take a little seat, and you're sitting on my spinning wheel. So I do have my like comfy chair set up. I've got my ring light, but I haven't really set the whole thing up yet, which is why apologies if it made you nauseous to be carried around like that, but this is the tour you're gonna get as of right now. Some things are still on the floor and not put away. There's definitely still a lot of organizing that I have to do, but honestly, the studio is set up enough that I can use it, right? And I can start spinning again, and I can start getting back into the crafts that I wanna do. I'm probably going to do a natural dyeing video later this week. And I really wanna maybe I'll go live later tonight if I'm feeling like energetic, and I'll do a little spinning, or maybe I'll do a little more bat making because I found the bats. I found that green bat that I was talking about in my last video. Here it is, frog hunting. I feel like in the bag it looks more blue. Oh, I guess that was just the side we were looking at. This side looks nice and green. Yeah, that's the bat. Super duper cute. Very excited to start spinning it. I think that's all. I think that's going to be all for this video because I kind of want to start recording some stuff about spinning summer fibers and some stuff about natural dyeing and all of that stuff. And that has to be a separate video. It's not going to be included in this. Maybe I'll insert a few clips of me exploring some of the like surrounding area. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. But regardless, fiber friends, thank you so much for watching as per usual. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Wool to Gold podcast.